I'm actually glad The Last Dance is being released slowly and we can't just binge this thing. We've binged everything the last couple of weeks. Instead, this gives us something to look forward to every week. The closest thing to actual games I can think of. Even better than that, parts 1 and 2 lived up to the hype. There were so many moments that stuck with me. Jordan's scotch and cigars during the interviews, how much of a bad guy they make Jerry Krause out to be, Scottie Pippen's low salary and how criminal that was. I think the best line was when MJ played after he broke his foot, despite a 10% chance it would end his career. The owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, asked him, "Hey, if I had 9 pills that would cure a headache and the other one would kill you, would you take a pill?"
I look at him, I said, depends on how bad the headache is.
There is so much to react to from the first 2 episodes of The Last Dance, including what we didn't see, but I really hope we get to see in the coming weeks. Hey, it's Casey, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Hit us with a subscribe and hit notification bells because it helps out the channel a lot. Still coming out with 5 videos per week, even with no games. Now, let's get to the takeaways from The Last Dance. The first big takeaway from night 1 of The Last Dance is really this is a Michael Jordan documentary. Now, the reason it's called The Last Dance is the doc is based on hours of unseen video from the 97-98 season. I even heard in the comments of previous Last Dance videos I did, people telling me, no, it's not a Michael Jordan doc, this is about the 98 season. No, it's not. This documentary includes a lot more footage than just that one season, and it tells the whole story of Jordan's career. I was glued to the screen seeing the video of Jordan as a freshman at UNC or preseason his rookie year. We're so used to seeing like really low quality YouTube video of really old moments like this, but seeing high quality young Jordan video was awesome. And the insights into young MJ were awesome. I mean, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated December of his rookie year with the title, "A Star is Born." There's that story about MJ being cut from his high school team, but that story is way overblown, like he was a late bloomer. No. MJ was a phenom from a young age. He was one of the most recruited players in high school, a superstar as a freshman at UNC, and very, very quickly in the league too. I mean, looking at all the rookies of the year recently, I think the last guy to do that was LeBron James. I wanted to say Luka, but really he popped as a star at the beginning of year 2. It was great to see Jordan losing in the early years too. His team was tanking and he drugged them into the playoffs. He even called them out for trying to get a better draft pick.
That just shows the losing attitude, and not just on the team, but in the front office also. We should always go out and try to win.
Jordan's legacy has gotten so big sometimes, it feels like, oh, he never lost a game and he never missed a shot. It was so refreshing to see the losing years of Michael Jordan. Another story that made him human was that letter that MJ's mom read about him asking for money because he only had 20 bucks. This is a Jordan documentary as much as it is about that Last Dance season. Takeaway number 2 is that the hate for Jerry Krause is going to be huge, but I think this doc shows how great of a GM he actually was. Was he really a bad GM if the teams he put together won 6 championships? No. He might be unlikable, but I would take Jerry Krause as my team's GM any day. He reminds me of great GMs in other sports, like Bill Belichick. He did unpopular things, like trade Charles Oakley for Bill Cartwright, which again, MJ didn't like, but you needed a big man like Bill Cartwright to win in those days. He had a great eye for talent. I even understand why he wanted to break up the 98 Bulls. Now, that ended up being the wrong decision. There's no doubt about it. They haven't recovered since. They haven't won another title. But at the time, if you think about how GMs like a Bill Belichick operates, you want to get rid of guys before they exit their peak, right? When they still have a little bit left on the bone and other teams are willing to pay a lot for them, start that rebuild early. You didn't want to overpay older guys and get max value out of guys who maybe had already given their best years. So I get the thinking of Jerry Krause, even if it was the wrong decision in hindsight. I know it's awful that Scottie Pippen was so underpaid all those years. I wanted so bad for Pippen to get paid what he was worth while watching the doc, but from a team building standpoint, how great is that? I mean, you can afford so much more talent if one of your best players is getting paid like a rookie. Again, an unpopular thing, but what was best for the Bulls, and Jerry Krause pulled it off. What Krause wasn't good at, of course, was managing people and being so insecure. He could have done so much better and made the ride more enjoyable with a humbler attitude, but this guy inherited MJ but built teams around him that won titles. The third takeaway is that the 97-98 season was the perfect year to have a film crew document everything. There was so much drama. I mean, every movie needs conflict and a villain, and there's plenty of that here in The Last Dance. Could you believe the questions MJ and Scottie were getting on the podium after winning championship number 5?
Michael, obviously, in the wake of this incredible celebration, there'll be some very difficult business decisions.
Rebuilding, no one's guaranteeing rebuilding is going to be 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years. Cubs have been rebuilding for 42 years.
That was insane. Or how about, again, the villain in Jerry Krause, saying Phil Jackson was out after the season, even if they went 82-0. This is the year where Scottie Pippen was out because he didn't get that surgery. Pippen demanded a trade at the beginning of the year. This documentary is different from those home movies that the NBA puts out after teams win titles because the drama is there and it makes it so good. Takeaway number 4 is what we didn't see, and that's the fiery, mean Michael Jordan. I mean, we were told before this documentary came out, MJ was nervous about how people are gonna view him after The Last Dance. He said, quote, "You're gonna think I'm a horrible guy." So far, we've seen some of that competitive spirit. I mean, Scotty Burrell is happy after winning that McDonald's trophy in Paris and he wants a hug. MJ says it doesn't count.
Now you hug to me.
In practice, Jordan's running things and he's yelling at his teammates. He lays into Ron Harper at one point.
He would gladly tell you, get out. We don't need you here. You don't want to play hard, get out.
If anything, it just reminded me even more of Kobe Bryant and why they get compared so often. They had so many similar qualities on the court with their game and off the court with their attitude. You could say MJ had the original Mamba mentality, but it wasn't anything we haven't seen before. If the trash talk and behind the scenes drama doesn't get ratcheted way up, I am gonna be seriously disappointed. And takeaway number 5 is that The Last Dance will shape these players' legacies for generations to come. We thought it might. One of the coolest things about this documentary is that people who are too young to see Michael Jordan play, but have heard so much, get to experience the Bulls phenomenon. Because this is a Jordan documentary, there's so many details about his personality that are being reinforced. I mean, I knew he was on all the time, but Jordan was next level. He demanded to play even though it risked his career just to make the playoffs in '86. I saw a tweet that said outside of that broken foot, Jordan missed 5 games his entire time in Chicago. 5 games. In the age of load management, it is hard to believe that players used to have that mentality. Now, to LeBron's credit, by the way, that is how he operates. Jordan's discipline also was next level. I love the story about how he caught all his teammates having a hotel party on the road. Part of that whole cocaine circus thing, which Jordan got a kick out of.
One of the articles I read, they called it the Bulls Traveling Cocaine Circus.
Instead of indulging in the circus, he became a loner on the team. He didn't smoke, drink, or anything else because he was so focused. And Jordan's legacy on the court is still being seen today. I mean, back in the day, in 1984 when he was drafted, you needed a star center if you were gonna win titles. That's why Hakeem Olajuwon was taken first overall. And the documentary did such a good job of showing how low expectations were for MJ to be so dominant as a rookie. I mean, they had all those clips that guys were basically saying, look, he may have been great in college, but this is the league.
We wish he were 7'1", but he isn't.
Michael got to realize that he's not 7 foot, so he's not going to carry a team in the NBA.
No. Instead, he was a guard who was the best player in the game. That inspired a whole generation of players. Now the NBA is a guard-driven league. Scottie Pippen's legacy is taking a hit so far. Jordan said it best. He was selfish, Just in episodes 1 and 2, we've seen Scottie forego surgery to enjoy his summer, meaning he'd be out to start the season, berate Jerry Krause to the point that other people told him it crossed the line. Then there was the infamous playoff game in 1994, which we haven't heard about yet. Pippen refused to go in the game because it wasn't drawn up for him. Luckily, they won that game. Pippen was a great player and hugely underpaid, but he could be a selfish diva, and so far, The Last Dance shows it. Most of all though, while I'm watching the debut night of The Last Dance, I kept thinking 20 plus years this footage has sat in a vault and just now they decide to make it while we're all in quarantine. How did it work out like that? I'm so grateful that it did and that episodes 1 and 2 did not disappoint. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.